Hello. Meni je posebno drago biti opet u Beogradu. Thank you. This is the continuation of a tour we started last year in Užice. Užice, Čačak, Niš, Novi Sad, and finally Belgrade. This is the culmination. We nearly reached the end. But there was a year between Čačak and Niš, which was quite a nice break. Okay, I won't stand there. Can you hear me?
Yes, of course.
Yeah? You could always come nearer. It's amazing no one sits in the front row. They're terrified that I'm going to do something bad. Like ask you to come to the... No, I won't, don't worry. Okay, what we're going to do is talk about some activities you could probably use to supplement your course book. All of you are using course books, you're with a class, you're with several classes, and they're probably quite big. Is that true? Big classes? Yeah. And you probably teach different age groups, from small children to teenagers to young adults, yes? Okay, so I'm talking in a kind of vacuum, which is not really related to reality. Oh, sorry about that, but I'm basing what I do in lots of these activities on a class that I taught in Belgium just before I came to Serbia last time. So about 18 months ago. And these kids were 12 and 13 years old. And like this one, the lessons were filmed, but I was teaching the kids, not talking about teaching. And these kids were they weren't Flemish or French, because Flemish kids in particular, in Antwerp, where we were, all speak English. They watch English TV without subtitles. Their English is very, very, very high. C2, all of them. These kids were Moroccans and Turks, and their English was quite low. So some of these activities were designed for them. Okay? Is that all right? They're only examples. And I should say right at the beginning that if you would like some of the exercises that are longer than the bits I show you, I'll put them into a zipped folder, which I'll send to the English book. You contact them, and you can get all the material, okay? I mean, you're very welcome to copy things down or write if you want to, but you don't have to. Okay, a couple of little rules. Could you make sure you're sitting next to someone? Because this is a workshop. Radionica? U radionici se radi. Okay? So you're going to work, I hope. A little bit. Okay, I'm not very good with technology, so forgive me if something goes wrong. Let's take a look. Okay, I mentioned at the beginning we're talking about large classes. Whoa, who can hear me through that? Ooh. What do you think constitutes a large class? What's large for you? 15? 25? 30? 50? 30. Is that already large, yeah?
Large is 50 if you are studying foreign language.
Yeah. I'll just tell you very briefly about a situation I was in, a place I used to work in many years ago. And I had a class of, I think, probably 35. And I came out of the class, coffee break, went to the teacher's room, and I was very tired with 35 students. And I was complaining, the class is too big. And another teacher came in, and she was almost dying of exhaustion. And I said, "Are you okay?" She said, "I have 102. I said, "How do you teach language to 102? And she said, "I write and they copy." Oh, what can you do? Okay, so let's have a look at some more statistics. Take a look at this. Those are the average sizes in some countries. I like Estonia, Latvia. You know, those countries really, they're very small anyway, but very small class size. UK, I'm not convinced that's correct. I think it's higher. This is Wikipedia for you. What about Serbia? What do you think?
Less.
Tell your neighbour what you think the average is.
Average is 23. We have classes of 2 children.
That's the answer. Apparently, if you can trust statistics. Okay, now I was saying that you all work from course books. Course books have texts in them, and the texts usually have questions afterwards. And the texts are usually written about fictitious people that don't exist, and the students probably have no interest at all in the topics of the text. So when I was presented with this class of about 25 Belgians, I had a bit of a problem. 12 and 13 years old, what would they be interested in? I don't want to be one of those teachers who tries to like their music. Look at me, look how old I am. Me liking music that 12-year-olds like is going to sound awful, it's going to sound pathetic. So I thought, well, okay, let's just try a text. And this was the first text I came up with, so take a look at the text. And there's something for you to do. There's some gaps in the text. You have to fill the gaps with your knowledge. It's not impossible. Take a look. Oh, it's not an exam. You can talk to each other. Okay, you have to remember that this class I was teaching were mostly boys. This is a boys, well, to be sexist, it's a boys' topic, slightly. I shall balance it in a minute, don't worry. Okay, what do you think? First one. Argentina. Yeah? Sure?
Something with an I, with an A.
Yeah. Not many possibilities. Algeria? Probably not. Albania? Probably not. Okay. Argentina in June? 80? 85? Any more guesses? These kids were better than you. Okay, so he is 30? Okay. He currently plays for the Spanish. Could be Surinamese, but it isn't. And the club is Barcelona. Okay. He's won the Champions League title. It's not going to be 1, 2, or 3 because that would be once, twice, or well, it could be 3. 3 or more. Yeah. Okay, you don't know. Next one. Oh, sorry, giving you the answers. And has been named World Footballer of the Year. You saw it. And he's scored almost 100. Okay, you've got a small surprise coming there. Here's the answer. Whoa, wrong one. No. I'm very bad with that. So more than 100, yeah, 700. Okay, so to balance it, here's one about a wrong again. Okay, here we go. About a singer. Can you do the same thing again? Please discuss. Okay, suggestions please. American? Okay, go on. Could be actress. What other possibility could it be? Could also be actor, because actor is used for both men and women now. She was born in
France.
France, maybe.
Philadelphia.
Florence. Someone said Florida. That's also possible. Okay. In June.
1980 something.
1980 something, 1992. Any more guesses?
Maybe 1990 something.
Okay.
She's young.
She is quite young. To a family of
Latin. Italian origin.
there's not much else it can be. I mean, Iranian, Iraqi, Italian. Okay, her. Well, it can't be first, second, or third, so it's got to be more than that. Okay, was released in
France.
February. I think the only month that begins with F.
February
I think that's.
22nd. At 3 o'clock.
You know a lot. You're very good. So far, she has won
6.
one. Yeah, it's the only possibility. And in 2018 was named. Yeah, it's quite hard to think of another word that would fit that one. Okay, just check it. Okay, what happened next was the kids were asked to write a similar little biography of someone that they knew, a famous person they knew. And I wasn't there for the follow-up, but the teacher, Christiane, emailed me later to say they all did it. There were lots of mistakes, but they did it, which was quite good news. Doesn't always happen. Okay, let's move on. So this is a way of using a short listening or reading that is intended to motivate the kids because it's someone they know, rather than someone in a textbook that is fictitious, that they've never heard of, Mr. Smith and Mrs. Smith, etc. Okay. Next activity is based on listening, and you need a piece of paper and obviously a pen would help. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, this activity has got 3 rules. I'm going to dictate to you 7 words, single words, okay? Now, single words are often quite hard to hear because they're single words. There's no context. So write what you hear. That's rule number 1, okay? Whatever you hear, just write it and don't worry. Rule number 2 is write only 1 word, okay? Don't write several possibilities. 1 word. First word you think of. And rule 3, and there is no rule 3, sorry, rule 4, the most important one, don't show your word to your neighbour. Okay, this is a secret activity. On pain of death. Okay, you ready? I'm not ready, it's over here. Okay, number 1. 7 words coming, yeah? And I won't repeat them, I'll only say them once. Maybe, we'll see. Okay, got it? Number 1. Scent. Number 2. Chord. Number 3, pour. Number 4, rain. Number 5, sow. It gets a bit harder now. Number 6, rye. And last but not least, my favourite of all time, number 7, pharaohs. I might repeat that one. Pharaohs. Okay, now would you compare with your neighbour and see if by any chance you have the same word?
Tim, you've chosen words that will be spelled multiple ways. I noticed that.
Okay, have you got any that are the same? How many have you got that are the same as your neighbour? 3, 2, 4. Anyone got 7 the same? I would be amazed if that happened. 4 is quite impressive. Okay, any problems? Number 7. Yeah, okay. Fantastically, number 7, if you gave it to 100 British people on the street, let's say English, because they're not as good spellers as Scots and Welsh, to English people on the street, 99% would get it wrong. There would be one school teacher or something who get it right. So don't worry. This is not intended for your students. This is intended for you. It's an example of the activity, okay? I want you to make it a bit more challenging. That's why I've used these ones. Do you want the answers? Yes. These are homophones. You obviously realise that. And the thing about it, you can make it as easy or as difficult as you want. Go to Wikipedia and Google English homophones. There's a huge, great list. So you choose easy ones for your 12-year-olds, like meat, M-E-E-T, M-E-A-T, and so on. And they usually find it quite interesting to compare. Oh, I spelled it differently. It's a different word. Okay? Pronunciation's the same. Want to check? Mm-hmm. And you can also award more points for the more complicated one. If you got pharaohs right, I'll give you a point, extra point. There you go. Okay, with the first one, did anybody have the first word in number 1? Yes. Okay, interesting. How many had the second word? Okay, and how many had the third word? Okay, interesting. Number 2, who had the first word? Second? If anyone had the third, they get 3 points. Anybody? It's the verb to remove the core from an apple in the past tense. Okay, number 3. Who had the first one? Second one? Third one? Small holes in your skin. Yeah? And the last one? Wow, well done. Yeah. I had an argument in Moscow about poor, the first 2, because a Russian professor in the audience asked me how to pronounce P-O-O-R, and I said poor. And she said, no, in our textbooks it's poor. Yeah, okay, maybe. But 99% of people say poor, so why would you say poor? Have we got any native speakers? No? No. I can't check then. Sometimes useful to say, what do you say? But I say poor. All those are poor, 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 poor. Number 4. Who had the first one? Second? On the horse. Third? Quite a few. Okay. Number 5. Who had the first one? Second one? Third one? Wow, okay, interesting. Did you get rye? Yes. First one? Second one? Can I give you a wry smile? It only really collocates with the word smile. Wry, ironic. Yeah. Who got the first one right in number 7? Wow. Congratulations. Did anyone get the second one? No. I did a session on pronunciation in Tallinn, in Estonia. So this is part of an activity that I took from that and used with the Belgians. And in Tallinn, they all got the second one absolutely right. And they wrote it, no one wrote the first one, they all wrote the second. And I was amazed. I said, how do you know? How do you all write the Faroe Islands so perfectly? And they said, one guy put his hand up and said, Faroe Islands is the only football team Estonia can beat in football. Okay, I understand. Okay, so homophones dictation, very, very variable, very simple, and you get lots of words from the whole class. That's what makes it, in my opinion, a productive activity. Okay, we're going to move on. I'm going to stop around 7, is that okay? Yeah? Or maybe 8. No, 7, don't worry. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to show you some words. Please don't write anything. Don't write. Just take a look. Just take a look. No problems? No. Okay, talk to your neighbour. How many can you recreate? Okay, can you shout out some of the words? Don't be shy. Hi. Don't be shy, shout them out. I'm a bit deaf. A bit louder. Maybe the acoustics are better this way than that way. I can't hear. Any word that you remember? Generous, thank you. Generous, good. Obedient, yes. Helpful, yep. Useful, yes. Complex, yes. Sober, useful word. Healthy, yep. Helpful. How many did you get? Well, you understood all of them. You remembered all of them. It's interesting, as a group, though, a class will remember quite a lot, especially when they know what's coming. They know the activity. Okay? And something you can do next is to get them to write the opposites in the boxes. It's also very interesting that people often remember the ones in the corners and not the ones in the middle. Okay, it's a simple thing. You can do it at any level with basic words, animals, etc., etc., and kids will usually try and remember. The thing that motivates most kids is the competitive elements. They want to get more answers right than their neighbours, so that can be used there. Something else that you can use to motivate, and again we did this. This was based on a text. The point here is to use your knowledge of the world. Now, maybe 12 or 13 is a bit late, but there is a time when you're growing up that everything is, wow, really? The sun doesn't go around the earth goes around the sun, that's amazing. And you learn these things, so all the time there's something new. And the problem with lots of textbooks is they don't teach anything new. So the kids are not actually learning new information about the world, they're just learning about Mr. and Mrs. Smith in their kitchen or whatever the course book is saying. So I'll try to work on this, and I'm going to give you 6 statements that refer to the UK. The UK being a country where English is spoken, so it's kind of relevant. I live in the UK, and we've just left the European Union. Something I'm absolutely devastated about, but that's another topic. I'm going to show you 6 statements. All you have to do in your pairs is decide if they are true or if they are rubbish, invented. Okay? Okay? Simple as that. No Googling. On that question, can kids in your classes use their phones? No? They can't?
Sometimes they can.
Sometimes they do, yeah. Okay, well, see what you think. Go. And it's not an exam, please discuss. Are you sure about the answers?
No.
That's the point. The whole point is to create uncertainty and also to work on this desire to be right. Especially when they're 12 and 13, kids really want to be right. Number 1, what do you think?
It's true.
How many think it's true? How many think it's false? How many don't care? Bash me, Briga. Well, you can learn something every day. Okay, it is actually false. The first one was in London.
Yes.
The third one was in Glasgow. But the second one, not Moscow.
Budapest.
Yes, I was going to say much nearer to Belgrade, yeah. Okay, number 2, fish and chips is the UK's most popular meal. True or false?
False.
Who thinks it's true? Quite a lot. Who thinks it's false? Not many. It's actually false. What is the most popular meal in the UK? Someone said it. Curry. Yeah, Indian curry is number 1. This is number 3, by the way. What's number 2? Oh, I wish it was. That would be fun. Not Yorkshire pudding, no. Number 1 is fish and chips. Number 3 is fish and chips. Number 1 is curry. What's number 2? All over Belgrade. And it's not cevapcici. Pizza. Number 3, the British drink more tea per person than any other nation on earth.
False.
It is false. It is. Who drinks the most? Per person. Nope. Come on. Nope. Not Arabs, not Turks, not Chinese, not Indians, not Japanese, not Russians. When I was in Russia, they were very surprised that I didn't put a sugar cube between my teeth when drinking the tea. Which is a very strange thing to do. They put a sugar cube and hold it and drink through the sugar cube. Why not put the sugar cube in the tea? It's easier. And they wonder why they have bad teeth. The answer is a European country. It's quite near England. Ireland is the correct answer. They hold the record in tea drinking. They used to hold the record in beer drinking, but who's that? It's the Czechs. Number 1. I have a dustbin mind for statistics, I'm sorry. Okay, number 4. London and Paris are the only cities to have staged the Olympic Games 3 times. This is also false. London has, but Paris hasn't. Paris has done it twice, and they got the 2024. So this will be true in 4 years' time. Number 5, English is the only official language in the UK. True or false? Who thinks it's true? You're wrong though, sorry. It is false. Yeah. What's the other one? Welsh. Yes, it's Welsh. Do you happen to know the third most spoken language in the UK? After English and Welsh. English is 60 million, Welsh is about 1.5 million can speak Welsh. The third one is about 1 million. It's European. Polish, number 3. Okay, the last one, last but not least. Water polo was invented in Scotland. This is true. It's the only one that's true of the whole list. And it's amazing. You think about Scotland's a very cold country. And it was invented in the 19th century before swimming pools and warm water. Quite amazing. Okay, if you think that students of yours could be interested by something like this, there are texts that go with this and longer versions, and I will put them into the zip folder. Just all you have to do is ask English book. Okay? It will be available from next week. Okay? So please do. Okay, we're going to move on. I'm conscious time is running. Another activity that you will have in your course books will be dialogues. And the students listen to the dialogue and they answer the questions. That's what usually happens. You know, what colour is Mr. Smith's bathroom, etc., etc. But something you can do with dialogues is use them for pronunciation and to improve your students' pronunciation, especially rhythm and intonation and stress. They're all together. And this is something, again, I tried with these Belgians. Not with this text I'm going to show you. It was a much easier one from their course book. This is one for you, just to demonstrate the activity. And we need 2 halves. That's kind of neat. It works. Would you mind getting a bit closer? Would you just mind? Sorry to move you, but if you could just get a bit closer. If you don't mind, just... there's a reason for that. It will sound better if you get a little bit closer. Okay, I'm going to show you this little dialogue. It's only 6 lines, if I remember correctly. It's from a piece of literature which you may or may not recognise. I'll tell you who it is and when it was written a bit later. What we're going to do is you're going to read the dialogue in time with the recording, but absolutely in time. Now, I don't have the recording because it's copyright and you can't download it. So I'm going to read it and you're going to read it in time, if you don't mind. And I think you'll see that getting it in time with the correct stress and rhythm is actually a useful activity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 lines. Why did I say 6? Anyway, there are 8. A and D. So can we have A and can you be D? Okay? So all you have to do is read it in time with me. I'm going to read it first, if you just listen to where the stresses are, okay? And then you're going to read it una voce, all together. Nice and loud, please. I think it's about time you found somewhere else. I don't think we're hitting it off. Find somewhere else? Yes. Me? Are you talking to me? Not me, man. You. What? You'd better find somewhere else. I live here, you don't. Don't I? Well, I live here. I've been offered a job here. Okay? Don't look so worried. There'll be a short exam at the end by the door. Okay, ready? A's all ready? Includes the back row as well. Join in, please. A long way away, so nice and loud, yeah? 1, 2, 3. I think it's about time. Stop. We'll start again. Together. I think I need to conduct a little bit, okay? The baton. 1, 2, 3. I think it's about time you found somewhere else. I don't think we're hitting it off. Find somewhere else? Yes. Me? Are you talking to me? Not me, man. You. What? You? You'd better find somewhere else. Don't I? Well, I live here. And offered it here. Very nice. Well done. Well done. Let's swap over. Come on, one more time. Just listen to it one more time. That was very nice. You did very well. Okay, from the beginning. A and D. Yeah? 1, 2, 3. Well done. Give yourself a round of applause. That was excellent. Excellent. Very good. This activity is called shadow reading. You may already use it, but you can use it with any dialogue, any recording, and the students soon get used to reading along in time with it, and it works wonders with pronunciation, especially intonation. They find it very hard at first. They find it strange. They don't want to do it. But once they get used to it, and you do it regularly, the class in Antwerp didn't like it. I didn't use this. It was something much simpler. Maybe they didn't like the dialogue, which was basically, good morning, how are you? Very well, thank you, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Good? Do you know where this is from? It's from a Nobel Prize-winning author, British, who's dead now. And I think he got the Nobel Prize in 2005. Initials HP. Yes, Harold Pinter. And the play is The Caretaker. And A is the character who's had the brain operation, a lobotomy, who lives in this horrible old dusty old house. And D is Davis, the tramp, who somehow comes in and is brought in there. It's a great play, and you can watch the whole thing on YouTube. Beautiful. Okay, we're moving on. I'm going to finish in about 7 or 8 minutes. Okay, let's move on. Something that you can use that is great for just introducing some vocab or practicing old vocabulary that will motivate most students is this simple activity. I found this particular example in about 10 seconds on the internet, and there are hundreds of them. Just Google Kim's game and take a look at this. There are 10 objects, no writing. Please, no writing. And see how many you can remember. Okay, talk to your neighbour. How many have you got? Okay, how many have you got? All of them? Wow. You have a good memory. Or you know the memory tricks, maybe. How many of the rest of you got? This gentleman has all of them. He's very happy. Congratulations. Anyone get 9? Wow. 1. Okay, we're all right. What were they? As a matter of interest. Whoops, wrong one. What's that? It's actually a chocolate bar. It's a British brand of chocolate biscuit. What about that? Well, if you said ping pong ball, I would say well done. But it's actually, I'm close, it's a golf ball. It's got those little paws in it. This? Bunch of keys. Very good. Okay. I want to do one more thing. Again, this is for you and not an example of things you could give to your students, unless they're advanced. But the principle of the activity is, basically you give them 7 or 8 words, and it's a homework task. They have to research it and come in and tell you what they are, what they mean. And I'll show you the words. Where is it? Oh, there it is. These are all new words. And these are all blends. They're portmanteau words that put together from 2 other words. Could you discuss with your neighbour what they mean and what the 2 words could be? Some are easier than others. Okay, well, I won't torment you any longer. First one? What is it?
Cornflakes with nuts.
What does it sound like?
Like a donut.
That's what it is. It's a combination of croissant and donuts. And it's something you get in New York. They serve them on Saturday mornings at bakeries in Manhattan, and people queue around the block to buy it. They're fantastic, apparently. I've never tried one. 1, because I don't want to spend $5 on a croissant, and 2, because I don't want to queue at 6 o'clock in the morning. And 3, I'm not in New York. But that's what they are, cronut, combination of croissant and donut. How about glamping? Yes, you're right. Well done. Glamorous camping. Now, in my experience, there's nothing glamorous about camping. You go to bed drunk. You crawl into the tent, and at 4 o'clock in the morning, the sun wakes you up because you're too hot. And you have to pee all the time. You have to keep getting out of the tent. It's terrible. But glamping is a kind of tent where you have a fridge and television and central heating and all those things. What's a phablet? Yeah, it's something like, it's so good, this one, I've forgotten what it is. But it's certainly a tablet. It's a phone and a tablet. It's too big to be a phone and too small to be a tablet. It's in the middle, which is kind of useless. Too small to be a tablet and too big to be a phone. But that's a phablet, a small tablet. What's a smombie? I like this one. Well, the second part is correct, is zombie, yeah, but the first part is smartphone. It's the kind of person who walks down the street like this. And did you know that in Freiburg in Germany, they actually have traffic lights on the pavement for smombies? Oh, it's red, I better wait. Yeah? Seriously. Coatigan. Yes, it's a cardigan that's long enough to be a coat, apparently. What's mansplaining? It's men explaining something to women, as if it's like me, yeah, as if it's completely bloody obvious. You know, are you stupid or what? Only men do this, by the way. Chillax.
Chill and relax.
Exactly, chill out and relax. This word was first devised by our last Prime Minister? No, we got that idiot now. Before him was May, and before Cameron. Cameron thought of this word. He said, I've been chillaxing in the West Country. So it's chill out and relax. And malware, you know. Malicious, evil software. Lovely stuff. Okay. Now, just to finish up, I want to show you something. This is something that most kids do, correct? And something that most software systems do is change my helpful symbols into question marks. If I show you my copy I printed out at home, it's got symbols. However, they've been changed to question marks. So would you quickly in your pairs decide what these text abbreviations mean? Okay, let me stop you. Can I just point out one thing, just to make you feel good or bad? Probably make you feel bad. The class in Belgium knew all of these. They all had mobile phones, they were texting each other, and they were using English text abbreviations. Quite amazing. So I reckon your kids will know these. First one? Second one? Third one? Someone in Novi Sad said FC, football club. No, it's not a football club. Fingers crossed. Good luck with the exam. FC. SD? Good night. Sweet dreams. And a couple more. I'm sorry the symbols have disappeared. The symbols would have made it much, much easier. TGIF?
Thank God it's Friday.
Yes! Thank God it's Friday. It's Wednesday today, never mind. OGIM.
Oh God, it's Monday.
Correct. OGIM. Oh God, it's Monday. But actually, it's usually OFIM. I won't explain. BFN? BFN? Bye for now. TBH?
To be honest.
IMO? IMHO? Very good. Yeah. In my humble opinion, in my honest opinion, it could be either. Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you. And the last one, if I say it, you'll get it. See you later. Okay. Well, on see you later. Let me just give you one more thing. If you'd like to follow me on Facebook, you can. I put things about teaching on there sometimes, music and teaching usually. So you're very welcome to follow. Just make sure it's Tim Bowen with the Welsh flag, because there are other Tim Bowens. And there's an American one who is a jazz guitarist. He's very unfriendly. So if you write an email for any reason, don't forget the W, Tim W. Bowen, because he gets very angry. Pilgrims is a place where you can do teacher training courses in the summer that the Erasmus Plus funded. You might be interested in having a look. Humanizing Language Teaching is a free magazine from Pilgrims with lots of nice articles. You don't have to pay, you just sign up and you get it every 2 months. And it's quite interesting, I think. And finally, One Stop English is the Macmillan website that has 20,000 pieces of teaching material, and you can download a quarter of them for free. Kids, kindergarten, secondary, business, it's all there. Okay, thank you very much for coming. Enjoy your evening in beautiful Belgrade. Thank you.